Wow, I was chatting. Boy, I had some bars. Okay, look, welcome everybody. I'm JD, the host. This is just an impromptu charting session, or well, charting session, just kind of discussion. I wanted to offer that up. My bro Mo Jax is in here. Mo, I see you in there, big dog. Um, so if you want to, you can put. I can't promise I get to all the charts, but we're going to get to a few. Um, and it's just going to be a basic charting session, give you guys some ideas. First, I'll answer Scott Dillard's question. What's up, Ro? Uh, I'll answer Scott Dillard's question. Scott, I like naked charts, but I also use indicator like for my long term. When I say long term, for me a long term chart, guys. If you look, I know I'm sharing the right screen. Please, Lord, yeah. All right, long term chart on Thinkorswim. I usually focus on the duration. I'll go 3 to 5 years, but the weekly is my first start out. The weekly chart. So each one of these candlesticks or candles represents a week. That's the time, that's the duration. So that full candle takes a week to populate 5 trading days. Um, and on Thinkorswim up here, you can find the time frame up here, top to the right of the share. You can drop it down. You can decide which time frame. So my interval, I'll start off on that daily tick so I can. It's just good to the entire idea is you want to gauge the overall trend, the prevailing trend. Which direction is this thing going? Because a lot of times I'll see a lot of people and they'll look at a chart and really not look at it, but they'll see something like VUZI and it's going up. But if we do it, if we angle it the right, well, not angle it, but if we look at this chart, let me get my thing set up. Look at this chart properly. We'll see that there's some indecision in this chart. Angle isn't that bad. It's actually we're in an uptrend. But if you look as we go closer, we had that was a nice breakout. That when I say breakout, you have horizontal moves, you have angular moves that are going to be from the left to the right in the upward direction. You're going to have some that are declining. So from left to right to the upside, that's we're looking at a bullish or a positive move. Now, we're on a daily chart right here. So each candle represents a day. So what I'm looking for patterns or trends. I'm looking for changes in direction. I'm looking for pauses. Then once I start to notice certain aspects of where price moves, the ebbs and flows, then we can decide, hey, there's there's support at this level. Oh, there's resistance at this level. So the first thing that I'm going to do on this one is I'm going to clear this off right here. And yes, Mr. Dillard, I used the RSI indicator. That's probably my primary indicator, and it's the relative strength index. And everyone, if you can go to this is what I suggest. If you're listening to someone kind of break something down, and you have ideas, not ideas, but you have questions, and they go past your point, take your notes, have your notes, and then head to this. Here's a website that I use all the time. Oh, I don't use it as much anymore, but when I was first studying, it's investopedia.com. And I can't overemphasize the importance of exploring on your own in an exponential fashion. So if I talk about a doji candle, you're going to write in the chat, what's a doji? Most of the time you will. But if you write that down in your notes, you can, if I don't get to that, that's your homework. Go find out that right here, a doji candle, DOJI, that's a candle that signifies, not signifies, but it, 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 it's synonymous with indecision. We don't know what's going to go down. And there's different types of dojis, but when you see a doji show up on your chart, on your daily chart, now dojis can show up on any time frame, but the time frame I'm focusing on right now is the daily chart. We looked at the weekly briefly, but we're focusing on the daily. So if a doji candle shows up, that's something to where we need to say, hold on, let's take a second, let's pause and see what the next move is. The next move could be up, down. We can't predict it. We work in probabilities. So if I'm looking at Vuzi, I, I'd see Vuzi. I'd see that, okay, we've run up, we failed. We pushed back up, we failed, but we didn't fail as far, but we're still in a bearish downtrend. And a lot of times when you get okay, this is a bear trend right now. And it could be a bear trend. It could be a bear leg, which bear means going down in a bullish overall trend. But what we need to do, we have to wait. We don't, like, some people will immediately buy puts. Some people will say, hey, I'm going to look to buy this dip. When you see a doji, there's a pause in the action. We need to see what's going to happen. So when I say that, and people will say, well, you know what's going to happen. Well, you don't know what's going to happen. There could be news that's coming up. But what I would like to do for me to go short on this, I would utilize this doji and say, okay, I have my cursor. It goes across the doji right here. Doji, again, guys, look this up on investopedia.com. It's in the chat. If you have questions about some of the terms that I use, it'll help you kind of expound on what you're hearing. But doji is a type of a candle, and it signifies indifference or indecision in the market. So I would look, if next Monday or this upcoming Monday, if price falls below 2215, which is the low of this particular doji candle. Okay, see the candle right here? Let's look right up in this little area right here on Thinkorswim. It'll show the date. Like when I go across, it changes, but it will show the date, the open, the high, the low, and the close. That's all I focus on. I'm looking at the low. When I get over to this date, now look back over where I was up there. The low is 2215. So for me, the way I process my charts with current support and resistance, 2215 within a trading mindset. Now listen, guys, this is for a trade, a long-term buy and hold situation. If you like stocks and you like a particular stock, there's going to be more to it than going technical. We're going to look at, is it a product you use? Is it something that, hey, I just like this stock, so don't check me on it. I'm gonna buy $500 worth of GameStop because my baby girl goes in there and gets Pokemon stuff out of there, or I just like GameStop because I'm gonna support the culture. That's a different story. When we trade, when we're doing a short term uh, risk on play, like where I'm putting my money into this situation on Monday and expecting possibly a move within the next week or 3 days or even the next 3 hours, I need to know what's happening on my daily chart. And I want to know my highs and lows and the closes. So if the price falls below that 2215 on Monday, now it could fall down and it can go back up. But if it falls below that, my bear case is intact. And I'm looking for a push down, you know, into this little area right here. I wouldn't be looking for a big, huge move until I see how we react to support and resistance. Now, one of the things that you guys want to be able to look at when you're looking at charts, the overall charts, you need to look at that overall trend. Um, a lot of times that can start on the monthly. When you do the monthly, I'm on Thinkorswim. I like to put a lot of years on it. I mean, I'll put 20 years, and it's in here. I'd put go down here 20 years. I don't know if it's showing up on your screen, and then I could put the duration, uh, 20 years, and it would be monthly. So the idea is that I can see the long term trend of this. Now, look, let me do one thing. And this is this this was a newer stock. So, well, I say newer. It has some years on it, but it doesn't. Um, it's not like a legacy stock that has 100 years. But stock, these candlesticks have bodies. Like the body. When I say body, let's zoom in. This will make it a little bit easier. The solid part is the body. The really skinny things on the up the top right here, that's a wick. The bottom, that's a wick. Wicks can be long, they can be short, they can be tiny. So one of the other suggestions for you, if you're trying to understand technical analysis, Investopedia.com is a very good website. It's free. A lot of information. You got to just dig into this situation. And I would really suggest that you study candlesticks or Japanese candlesticks. It just, you don't have to know every pattern. You don't have to know ascending triangle, descending triangle, rising wedge, falling wedge, head and shoulders, inverse head and shoulder. It's going to come to you. You don't have to know the what is it? The patterns are important, but you don't have to be perfect. What I'm saying is you want to be able to identify that right here on the monthly chart. We might be exhausting ourselves when you start seeing wicks, longer wicks on the top of your candles. That means, okay, when the bodies are big, buying pressure's in. When the wicks come in and push it down, that means selling pressure is coming into it. We're at exhaustion to an extent. Now, I mentioned the RSI to Scott Dillard earlier. He asked about an indicator. It's not mandatory, but it helps. Look at the bottom of the screen down here. This RSI indicator stands for the Relative Strength Index. Lets me know that, okay, is there buying pressure in there? Are they buying this up? A lot of action on here? Or are we in the selling zone? Are we, are people exiting? So there are two limits or levels that I look for. If price or if the RSI indicator breaks above 70, that means we're in overbought status. If it breaks below 30, we're in oversold. Now, the significance of this is just it's an additional tool to put in your overall assessment package of what you're looking at. Now, just because it breaks above 70 does not mean it's immediately going to sell off. It just means to, hey, be cautious. We might be overextended, So now another caveat, and it may sound like a lot, but it's not. On each time frame, we're on the monthly. Remember, if I go to the daily, RSI is going to look a little different. It might not be as overbought, but once it gets up here, you can remain in overbought status for an extended period of time. Just because it's over here, uh, I have some people in my Telegram group. Sometimes they get excited because they have a good feed, good read on something, and they'll see it and they say, "Hey, man, who's hopping in these puts?" And the stock is still going up. People anticipate a pullback before a pullback happens. If we anticipate something is going to change direction without having a clear, defined setup, it's an extreme risk because things can remain overbought or skewed in a direction where we don't think it should be longer than we can remain solvent. So basically, we're saying, "Oh, have you ever seen people say, I don't know why this stock keeps going up. It should be going down." Who says it should be going down? It, it, supply and demand is the driver of the market. Fear, greed, uncertainty, they're drivers of the market. And something can be inefficiently priced or moving it in a way that we don't understand longer than we can keep our account open. So it should be going down, but it's not. Just like GameStop put the big head honchos on notice to the point of like where they could not. Um, Cats were borrowing money. I'm talking about billionaires or millionaires with billion dollar companies had to borrow money from other billionaires because they were spooked that the the stock went parabolic to a point of where they were like, there's no way it can keep going, and it kept going. But when it sold off, it sold off. So we have to have rational thought processes or processes, however they're going to pronounce it, when we're looking at something. We can't just expect it to go down or go up because we see it in the group and say, hey, hop in Genius, hop in Genius. Genius going to run to 20. Genius ass is at $1.20. Not saying that it won't ever go to 20, but we have to live in probabilities. There has to be a probability. You say the probability of that mother going to 20 is low, so you don't risk the baby's diaper money for something that we don't have a full understanding. You know how they talk about in church, and you ask them, well, if if Adam and Eve just had Cain and Abel, where did all the other people come from? And then they say, oh, that's beyond our understanding. We're like, come on, that's the answer, but we don't understand the story. So then we just keep moving. So we don't know why. I mean, we can say we know why a stock is going up or a catalyst. That's what we do look for. But when we get that chart, we need to look for certain signs. One of the key signs is going to be a reversal candle or a pattern, and the doji candle is one. That's one of them that gives us indecision. So Monday, if somebody's looking at Vizio or what is this called, Vuzi, you need to see. To me, this thing is prepped to go down, but we are at a type of support level where price kind of runs up and stops right here. You look back up, it runs up and closes right there. Runs up, it's in this little area. Now, support and resistance, guys, it's not a concrete, it's not like this. It's not a concrete wall. It's more of a chain link fence, man. It's support and resistance. It's just going to be to the point of like price can kind of go in a certain area. So where it congregates is it could be from 22.15 down to $22. That can be that area. It's not going to be that exact number, but a lot of times it's going to either the tip or the body's going to hit that area, and then uh, it'll trigger it'll trigger computer buying, this and that. So point I'm making is we need to see what's going on Monday. We look for different levels. So I draw trend lines when the chart is going upwards from the left to right to the up. We want to draw it on the bottom. We want to look for, you pick 2 points in time. The first point will be where you start. I can start here. I can go all the way back there, but I I want to get, this is going to encompass, a couple of months right now. So I'm going to draw it from right here, the bottom of this wick right here. And now if I draw it at a wick, I'm going to find the second wick, or I might angle it right there. So right now, I'm going to go here. First point, it's my second point, but you can just extend it out. That's how you extend out a trend line. So the idea here is that price has moved up. We could draw a topping trend as well if I'd like to, but I mean, which is actually a good idea because it's showing somewhat of a significant trading range, a wide range right now. Let me see here, and I'll extend that out. All right. Idea is if it breaks below, it's two levels of support right here. We have the trend, have the bullish trend that it's in. Then we have also where the doji stopped and previous level of support. So if it breaks through here, I feel that we could push down a little bit further. Now, I wouldn't go long until it showed me a little move and a setup. But let's move on from that. Let me go in the chat. That's just something I want you guys to think about. Trend lines, you can look at investopedia.com. Just a trend line, basic trend line, basic support and resistance. Uh, I wanted to show this one before I go into the chat. AMD is something that we've all focused on. We just look at AMD as a mover, and AMD tends to have gives you good patterns to set up. Now, the idea when you're looking at patterns, hold on one second, patterns, you're looking for time frames. You know, we're on the daily chart again, and we're looking for angles. If I zoom in on AMD, we see that's a trend line over here. But if I go a little bit further in here, I could draw from the bottom here. And we're not looking at further to the right. We're just looking at what's going on right here. And I'll make this the second point. I don't know if you guys can see it. I'm just going to stop it right there. Let me extend that to the right and see now, you ride a trend, like when you find a trend line that price is respecting, you roll with it. Now, this is what is called the hard right edge, guys, right here. Because, if we're starting over here, we can see what's happened, in the past, but I know what's happened in the past because we're looking in the past, but if in real time, there's nothing to the right. So we have to assess what's going to happen to the right within probabilities. Okay, we're coming up to a level of previous resistance, not right now, but so the probability of this breaking through initially upon touching that resistance isn't as strong as it would be if this were the first breakout. So right now we've extended this trend line. It's pushing away from the trend. So the move has really happened. We're a little bit overextended on the RSI. I'm still bullish, but the idea is that, okay, we're looking at this chart. Guys, you want to establish, this is one thing you got to write down. I'm kind of giving you just off the top, off the dome, time horizon. So if you're going to get into a stock, a trade, you have to decide, okay, hey, I like Apple computers. I have the iPhone. I have the iPad. I have the Apple Watch. I want to buy the stock because I like the dividend, blah, blah, blah. They're going to get an EV car. So, okay, you realize you like the company. Then you're going to say, am I going to buy the stock or the option? Well, if I like the company, I like it. I want to own shares. I like the dividend. So when you buy the stock, in the beginning, you decide from jump your time horizon. Look, I'd like to buy this stock for 20 years because I have a baby girl that's 3 years old. I'd like to have this stock and then eventually gift it to her. So I'm going to buy one share every 2 weeks. That's $1. I'm going to dollar cost average into Apple Computer or AMD. All right. You've established a time horizon. So you're making a plan. You have a game plan. So this isn't going to spook you out of the market if something crazy happens. So because over the short term, emotions and uncertainty kind of take over. Then over the long term, things kind of balance out. Usually, everything's not perfect. That's part of the risk of being in the market. So I know everybody's seen this where they say, if you had put $500 in XYZ, you would have $165,000. If you had put $1,000, if you put your stimulus check in this, you would, come on, man. Yeah, we know that. We know. Tell us the real shit. Tell us hey, put it in right now. I guarantee you that you're going to get $55,000. Nobody can say that. So don't beat yourself up when they say, if you had, because it gets me, if you have, well, tell us something that if we had done that, tell us what we should do right now for the next move. I don't hear that shit. I'm sorry. I don't want to hear that about if I had done this. Well, did you do it? Well, nah, brother, I didn't get into it. I don't believe in the market. I'm just saying you as a black man, there's no guarantees. There's just probabilities. But if we give ourselves time and increase our understanding, we can move within these periods and not worry. So I kind of went off on a tangent. Go a little further. The hard right edge. When you're looking at charts, technical analysis, we don't know what's going on to the right in the future. We look to the left to kind of assess what has happened, to kind of give us an idea of support, resistance, previous levels, uh, because price has a memory. Historical movements, historical levels are key. And we look, so there's nothing there. We're bullish. Let's see what I extended this trend line out, guys, right here. This is the one I drew. Look at that. No chance in the world that I'm going to predict. And AMD does this. Now, one thing we do know about this, and Mo Jackson, Maurice Jackson, and I know for, and everybody who's traded AMD, it's better to buy that stock and hold this baby long term, because this looks like this is a great looking trend. But one thing that we notice is that RSI was overbought. Doesn't mean it's going to sell off. The last few times it really just didn't sell off. But the next move, and I'm thinking that might have been earnings coming up, because what was this? What? Oh, that's Rona. Oh shit, excuse me. Nobody expected that. Yeah, that's Rona. Anyway, it fell, but okay. There's a level that it fell to. And remember I was saying that price is support and resistance is like a chain link fence, and it's not going to be a concrete wall. It kind of fell to where a previous high was right there. A previous low was right in here. So I wouldn't have drawn that trend line, but I know everything kind of congregated right in there. And if we keep moving, I'm going to extend this out too. I'm going to show you guys how price kind of will show back up. This level will show back up. It's almost a fact that it's going to, price is going to kind of hit here somewhere else too. All right, Rona happened. We had a gap up. Let me zoom in a little bit more for y'all. And I'm sorry if I'm not checking the chat. I'm just kind of going. Chain link fence area kind of price is staying above that level. Let me remove that. This is what I call a trading range right here, guys. When things are range bound, it's boring. That's when you try to move into a market, when things aren't really just going up, down, up, down. When it's boring and you're trying to build a position, you can accumulate shares during this period of time. Share accumulation occurs. Now, there's going to always be ups and downs within a overall trend, within a market, within whatever stock you like. You just have to establish your time horizon and set your goals prior to. So let me get to the chat, guys, and just see what we have real quick. And my bro was dropping higher highs, higher lows. That's one of the things that we really focus on. Um, you get higher highs, you get higher lows, which right here, this is a good section of higher lows. The lows are the bottom of the candle. Something's really bullish when the low points of the candles, the next low is higher than the previous low. Next low is higher. I like higher highs, but I really like higher lows. That means that the bears couldn't push it back down to a previous low. It's making a new low. Now, Rona it did its thing, but there's certain times, guys, when you start seeing candlesticks congregating in the same area, bunching up. A lot of times it's consolidation. You have your support and resistance levels. Let me get this in the chat real quick. I'm going to give a.
Yeah, I think that stock was Vuzi that I was talking about
Okay,
with
okay,
the
yeah.
higher highs and the higher lows.
And Vuzi's setting up. I don't know a lot about Vuzi, but I was trying to I was telling Selena, a matter of fact, that right here, Mo, that I think she was looking to hop in on Friday, and I was like, be careful because it's got a lot of overhead supply to kind of mess with, and I was looking for an entry point, and I was trying to tell her like over 24, over the pre-market, at least a pre-market high, but we still have a lot of resistance in these levels right here for it to climb back up. But that doji coming on there was a significant development in my eyes, man. For Friday, it closed with the spinning top, and I just
Yeah, see, that's what I was saying. If you look at that right there, you can see that there are higher lows.
boom.
So I was saying that should hold there based on the
Yeah,
higher highs that are right, next to a previous. That should hold if that channel is to continue.
that's the key, and that's why with the bear case comes in if it breaks it, just caution.
Right,
But
right.
there's two lines of support, guys, like we were saying. This trend line right here, it's the previous level of support where it did close right there. So, and if I wanted to, guys, I, I could add I could add a 50-day moving average or a 50 period moving average, which sometimes I do. Let's see if I let me put that on there right now for y'all. That's and it's the particular moving average when you start hearing 200-day or 200 period moving average. It's the simple moving average. Remember that it's the simple um, right here, and you can find that on Thinkorswim. Just type on under studies, type in simple, and you see it right here. That's the one because there's another one that's called it's an exponential moving average. It'll be under moving average exponential. That's a little bit different. It's going to calculate in more with the volume within that day. So the simple moving average is going to be the one that when people say, "Hey, you're at it broke the 200-day moving average. It breached the 50." They're talking about the simple moving average. But I think on Trading View, it just comes under moving average, which is when those numbers it's also the simple. So let's throw that 50 on there, and maybe let me let it populate, guys. Hold on. Show the study. Change that color. Make it right there. All right. We got the 50 on here, and it's above the 50. So as I add the indicator, I don't like to clutter up my chart, but sometimes when we're really assessing something, there are historical markers that or standard markers or measures of that the majority of traders, majority of investors who really look, they use the two staples. They use the 200 and the 50. So if it can hold at that level, um, that's a strong support level. I I really I could actually see it coming down testing this 50. It's but we're gonna let's keep an eye on Vuzi for Monday. Y'all keep an eye on that and see where it closes. See if it goes below 22.15 because it's in a trend and that doji's letting us know indecision was in play. We don't know what's going to happen, um, but it feels good to start picking up different different patterns. So next one, I'm gonna let me pull up for West NEO. Neogenomics. All right, got a wedge pattern. It's setting up, man. It's falling below the 50, which is, no big deal. It's as we zoom in. Now remember, when I'm back out, guys, the overall trend on the daily is bullish. We're still upwards, right, left to right in the upward fashion. Popped up, sold off. What was that 21? And found support, but it's below the 50. Now let me zoom in and show one of the things that we have right here. Pop, pushed up, sold off at the 50, respected the 50 in this area, buried back down, found a little bit of support, pushed up, respecting the 50 3 days in a row. Now, but if we go a little bit closer, there's a bull case and a bear case. Bull case for this, if we do breach this 50, if we get above $50.83 West, 50.83, that's a good entry. The safest entry. Well, if you break that, let me throw volume on here real quick. Hold on, let me do something else, guys. And guys, without doing a class, I'm saying that we're gonna save this for the class. It just takes too long. I don't even. When is the class, Mo? The 28, 20. Anyway, we have a charting class coming up, but volume, something I hadn't discussed, but it comes into play. But let's see. Volume lets us know the type of money that's coming in. Is there a flow? Is there something happening? Um, like look down here. Okay, we see these levels right here. It's just volume's kind of just right in this little area right here. Just even lower down there. Then all of a sudden, big time selling pressure, because that was sell off. What date was that? January of 21. And then all of a sudden you have some big time buying pressure to come back in. So you had 3.8 million shares, 3.5. So somebody bought back in, at those lows. So all of a sudden, then price goes back down. I mean, volume kind of sticks back down in the lower area, and then all of a sudden, it pokes its head out again. Not to say price is going to be any different, but I like to when we start seeing different volume markers kind of pop up and poke their heads out. You kind of pay attention to that. Now, if we get above these levels right here, and really, that's the entry level, man, right above. I 50.98, so like $51 West is a comfortable entry. Not that far away. I don't know how wide it trades, but the push is selling off in these areas. It's hit, and I took the 50 off. It's hit the little levels, and it's kind of holding up right here. So we could go into a mild trading range. It could go back down to here in trend, but for you to get in, you let it break above this. A little bit less riskier play. You see how it happened, how it acts above right here, but it takes a little bit longer, a little bit more patience for this thing to play out. So above 52.84 is the very, very conservative case. And you get above that 51, a little bit more aggressive, and then you go for your option. You select the option you want. Um, I that's the bull case for me, and that's bearish case. If it falls below this little level of congregation right there, that 46, give or take, 46.76, it falls below that, we could look at it pushing down at these little levels right here. But there's other levels of support for this stock. Now, you're in the biotech sector. We can't strictly go off of technicals. Biotech, man, you get news, they might have a new um, drug coming to market. They're looking for approval, and the approval may not come. But don't bank on an approval being your catalyst for the whole thing, because even if it's approved, it doesn't mean that stock is going to immediately pop because of that. Uh, but and it's not the charting class that we were taking it. Thank you, Keisha. It's not going to be. It's as advanced as you need it. The way, like right now, I'm trying to talk through, balance it out with showing some people what just a basic trend line is, you know. But guys, you don't have to pay money to get all the basics. You got YouTube, you have Investopedia, you got this place where I'm going tonight, the Black Awareness Rally. You got that, but you you have some resources at your disposal. So what you do is you study up. I think somebody put it in the chat, a link to the Japanese candlestick patterns. I used to sit and just look over that PDF, look for the Harami cross or Harambe cross in the uh, Morning Star Doji, Evening Star Doji, the three black crows. Uh, um, they can call them what they want, but they're patterns because you have your candle and then two or really three. Three can make a pattern, and you pick up. Oh, okay, we got a reversal pattern right here, and it can be on any time frame. So right now, it's a little mini double top right in this little area. I want to see what happens when it comes up here. Will we sell off, or are we going to break through and start pushing? So you got your levels, West, on that. Let's see what else we got. But be careful, guys. If anybody in here trades, you get into those biotech stocks, they can make you a lot of money, but don't just get something that's like, hey, man, it's supposed to have a new, it's supposed to come out with a new ointment for little, little young girls that had those mosquito bites on their leg when they little and they scratch them and the mama spanks them because Big Mama was watching the stories during the day and they scratch and leave scars on there. It's going to be it's a new ointment we can put on there to get those marks off your legs. Because I'm from the country, I see a lot of little sisters who I don't know if that's going to be a catalyst or not, but I know it's funny. I hope y'all are laughing. But don't we cannot predict what just because something is a catalyst to us, does that mean it's a catalyst to the market? So that's when we start looking at volume and we start looking at the strength behind the move. Let's go with this JYNT. I'm gonna keep moving. Joint Corp. See the volume. Now, man, be careful. Okay, look, this is another thing. We talked about volume over here. Volume. We have this little volume indicator, and right there is going to give us the average day, the daily volume that you get. 123,000 shares, 160,000 shares, 69,000 shares. My joke is always that when it's like under 500,000, shoot, the queues on Grambler's Yard, they can move this market. They can buy enough shares to go to the board meeting and have bruh stepping before every board meeting. It's not enough volume, so this stock can be manipulated. It can be pumped and dumped, and that looks so. Be careful where you find now. If it's something that you have personal interest in, or like you work for that company, that's a different story. But for a trade or a long-term buy and hold, we don't know what what can what can occur. It's too risky of a play. Um, Analyst action, DA Davidson adjusted joint price target. They put a buy rating on this, DA Davidson, but I I don't know much about it. Wes, be careful on the low volume stocks, everybody. Okay. Um, let's go down. I'm gonna skip MSOS right now, Wes, and I'll come back if nobody else has. All right, Derek Thomas, amazing linebacker, Kansas City Chiefs, FRSX. All right, $4.69. This falls under the penny stock program. Now, what I do like, I'm not a big penny stock guy because the volume, again, now this volume's picking up. This volume's picking up. That chart's going down. But the thing is, look at the sector. Foresight Autonomous Holdings, LTR. I'm thinking this almost feels like a SPAC, but anything with autonomous in it right now is kind of sexy. It's kind of sexy, but if you like this company, D. Thomas, and you have a good feel for it, you're gonna have to do your research on what what is it that's going to separate this company uh, from the other ones, the other autonomous driving companies. I mean, Google has autonomous technology. Amazon, what is the separator of this company? Now, when I see in here it says it sells the prototype, I hope y'all can see it on there. You, when you get something like this, very small, very low volume initially, but it's in a sexy sector, you got to start pulling not just popular news articles, but you have to start digging for articles to see if there's something in the pipeline, and we still don't know if it's going to be a catalyst. But if you like it and you feel, how they say, if it's on your spirit, get it, because there will be. I'm not saying that's not a buy, sell, or hold. It has to fit your criteria. You have to set your time horizon. Look, I think this thing gonna pop. I don't know when. You know, you don't have to get it, but I'm buying. I'm putting $500, and that kind of thing. But if it sells off like it's doing, because a lot of times when somebody sees this, quad sight camera system to Japanese auto, all the stuff looks sexy, the little statements in there. But when you get in, look at the chart, a lot of times, man, I'm gonna show you where we buy as a new investor. Because your cat's gonna get hyped up. They're gonna hear about genius. It's gonna go up in all the groups. They're gonna say, if you're a hotep, stand up. If you if you if you're a stepper, stand up, and let's get genius. Or let's get FRSX. A lot of times you're gonna buy up here because word of mouth, or you buying here. That word of mouth is hit. Every so often, this cats that were like, I heard about this 6 months ago, man. I was into 64 cents. Okay, cool. And I'm buying and holding. There's certain people that get in there, but the majority, you see all the volume. You see where the volume comes in is when that sucker is up here. Everybody starts saying, "Hey man, did you get an FRSX? Did you get an Foresight?" And before that, volume was like 878,000, 344, and November of 2020, 344,000. Look what it was on December 23rd, 2020, 136 million. So there's there's volume in here. There's buying pressure support. The next move, man, you look again, low volume, and people start popping in when it came up here. So we got up to, the 11, what's the high? 12, 14. There's times when a move is exhausted. Um, it's just part of the game. It's not much you can do about an exhaustion candle. You just have to expect pullbacks, guys. When an angle of an ascent, like ascension, is this acute like that, and or how many, one, two, three, four consecutive days of acutely sharp bullish moves. And the crazy thing about this thing didn't sell off and retest that quickly. It had a lot of people held that price up, and it pushed up. Then it finally sold off. It didn't just go straight down. People were buying it on the way up. So there's a little bit of something here. Now, what we're talking about were previous levels of support and resistance, where this thing has stopped and made a hammer candle. Write down hammer candle. Turn this mother. Write down hammer candle. Mo Jackson looks for hammer candles. We're at a level of previous support in this range. Now, I said it was like a chain link fence. You can press on it. So That's a little area. And right there, I'm looking at these little guys. You won't be able to see it right away right now. It's just going to take time, but it's going to make you money. Again, it's going to make you money. Learn how to do it. It what where it comes into play. The tough part where we lose money is our trader psychology, where we're going to hit 5 or 6 times and we'll gamble. Somebody will say, "Hey man, hop in bingo." I still don't know who said that. And I said, "Let me put $50 in bingo. It ain't number 50." And the chart was bingo was going straight down. I said, well, it might hit. Even when I'm perfectly disciplined, I'll slip into that. Hey, man, let's get that lottery ticket. We can't do our whole account with lottery tickets. It can't be. I mean, I know, you know, my grandmother used to love scratch offs, but shoot, she saved. She was 101 years old. She saved money for a long time. So you can buy a scratch off every now and then, but every play has to be a stock under $3, a 16-cent stock. Think about that. Now, we've had a pullback. I haven't shown y'all this one. I've shown you the bullish trend where we do it on the bottom of the candles. Here's the bear. We look at the bear trend line at the top of a candle, and we look for 2 points to start it, right? I could make that point there, but no, it doesn't encompass the majority of the price movement. I'm going for this one right here, and I'll hit it and I'll extend it out, and that's still a little tight. I could hit that right there, this candle right here. That's our bear trend line. And we don't know the next move now. Price is kind of consolidating with the previous level of support, this little range in here. And when you see it, you see price kind of come into this little area. And what has to happen, it's going to be it's a move is going to happen. We don't know what it is, but we're going to expect price to make a maneuver. It's going to be, we're going to either, and it might happen Monday, but the last time price came back down here in this area, it kind of hung out, consolidated. I'll zoom in a little bit more. And this is where I was saying we look back to the left. Always look to the left to possibly predict or make the probabilities, let us know what the probabilities are for the next move as they continue. So it fell in here and found it consolidated very well and found support, and buying pressure came back in. We're almost below 30 on the RSI. Not to say that's going to be our primary indicator to tell us, hey, it's time to buy, but it still can get buried below that and sell off. We're just going to see what happens Monday. I don't know a lot about foresight, depending on the futures and overnight news. This thing can move a little bit because there's a hammer candle right here. That's a reversal, or it could fall down into this level. But there's some bullish possibilities, even though we're in this angle. I'm not trading it. I wouldn't get into the move. I would need something to set up. But this is just helping us to kind of see how price reacts, how price moves. I'm gonna write this down. FRSX, and we can write hammer candle on daily. It's a hammer candle on the daily, letting us know, yeah, that's a bullish candle, but we have to read it in context. Bullish candle, but we have a very tight bear channel right now. And the bear channel, a lot of times they'll get multiple legs down. So are we going to push through the support and fill this particular gap right here? That's something that you guys can look at, gap fill or filling the gap. A lot of times price comes down when it's near it. If it breaks support, we'll fill that gap. Price will come back down in that little area and close the gap. I can't explain that to you, but that's one of the things that AMD is real good at filling gaps, man. especially when you're in options. It just it does that. So, um, D Thomas, let me open it up to D Thomas real quick, man. You can unmute Derek if you can, brother. Tell me what are you looking at to do with this one? And sorry guys for if I'm taking a long time. Uh, and I'm gonna let Fonsec. Uh, what's up, D?
Hey, what's going on, man? I appreciate you doing this for us.
No problem.
Hey,
Tell me,
so
man. Go. Yeah, you
yeah,
got it. You got it.
well, I was just looking at. I'm looking long term.
Okay.
Looking at the technology long term. I kind of like the technology that they have, um,
Right.
and so just kind of looking at that. But I wanted to see it done from a more technical aspect. As
Well,
I'm still learning the technical piece. So just kind of
well,
wanted to hear,
yeah,
what
man.
you have to say about it.
That's that is you in the right sector because but the thing about that sector, and I'm glad you said long term because one of the things that we're gonna have periods of like uncertainty, and you're gonna get those sell-offs because it's a growth stock. Autonomous, we're level 5 autonomy is gonna be that's where we just get in the car and there's no steering wheel. We can get in there with the kids, mama, and just sit there and then we can eat, we can eat dinner and then it's level 5. I think level 3 Tesla has a beta going right now. We have some other like level 4. The Olympics going to have be able to do certain things to where it's already a predefined regional track of like where they can kind of control uh, the traffic. So as things move forward, I would keep an eye on um, what level of autonomy are they reaching. Now, one good thing that I do like, we're looking at Investors Business Daily. Uh, Israeli-based company, Israel, man, they're pretty advanced with I don't know, fintech, cybersecurity, and we're going 3D multi-camera based advanced driver systems. Dig, go to YouTube, type in uh, type in Foresight Autonomous, and find out anybody who's talking about it, and you follow them and hit that bell. You so subscribe to them and hit the bell so anytime they post on it, and make sure it's not just a fan person. Make sure it's somebody that researches and gets info on them. Now the chart, it's bearish, but it's just it's going to retest some previous levels. That's it's not bearish to the point of like, oh, they're struggling. There's some issues going on. It's bearish to that point of like it's going to retest a breakout area, um, and people will, if it finds some strength, it'll come back in and make a move. So the accumulation distribution, I look at that a lot. It's a B. I like that. So that means there's buyers coming into your market. Um, Market cap, it's a baby market cap, so it's a micro. This is a micro cap. But the good thing about a micro cap, you can double or triple a micro cap a lot easier than I can double or triple a $1 billion company. You know, this 293 million, you can flip that with 3 good rolls at the boat. That kind of thing. That's how I'm looking at it. So um, if you get into it, man, you just set your time horizon and move on. One last quick, uh, I put like this. I use Yahoo Finance, and I want to see is any who's getting in this. Are there some popular money guys getting in here? Hold on one second. And it's important because if somebody with big money is getting in there, when I say big money, because I saw that volume coming in, and when you get big money coming in, big money follows big money, and then other money follows big money, and then the stock price generally, um, I mean, it's not a, let me see, it's not a guarantee of a mover, but it's better than if people were leaving it and there was never institutional support. So let's see. All right, Foresight, Yahoo Finance, run over here to holders, and it's still it's a small market cap. I don't even let me see if there's an investment bank in there. No investment bank, so there's really not big money in it yet. That doesn't mean hey, it's not going to do it, but it's it's going to come a hard way. Let's see the names because this is an emerging market fund. It's overseas, and so Square Point is a popular one, and I'm sure if Mo sees one on here, Mid Atlantic. Let's see, Fidelity is the last one. So it's not a heavy mover, but that volume is just starting to pick up. So I like the fact that you have a one that just everybody not on it, So you stick with it if you have conviction. Just pay attention to the news, man. And that I can't really. I mean, a technical on this is not it's not the best way to trade it. I mean, we can scalp it. I would have to go down to another time frame, guys. Look, I'll give y'all this one. 4 hour time frame is that's a cheat code. When you can't figure it out on the daily, you go to that 4 hour. You can use that 4 hour on crypto. You can use a 12 hour, 6 hour on crypto, and really kind of get it. It's just Mo. I know Mo's going to talk about that. I don't know which day he'll talk about it on the during the charting class, but the idea is like you have to get the time frames that match up for your strategy or your flow. Like we got my girl Keisha. She'll she'll hop on and get a rhythm on Tesla. Like she'll know which direction it's going on the daily chart, weekly chart, and then she'll dig off into the lower time frames when I say like the hourly, 30 minute, whatever, and she'll find an entry and a rhythm, and she would make an option play. Everybody's spending a couple $1,000s to get the options play, and she hops in with her strategies that she created and would spend a few hundred to make several hundred, or and risk a certain little bit less. But she was looking at different time frames to find that rhythm. That's the key to it. So time frame, there she is. She just put it in there. She trades on 20 minute. Watch the 4 hour and 60. When you get when people start giving you their time frames, that's like I don't know if y'all watch basketball, but God, the Sham God, that crossover, that that move's going has living in for years and years and for generations. It's going to keep living. When you get your rhythm, um, you're going to have your time the time frames that are yours. That I trade off the 5 minute, but the prevailing trend or prevailing time frame that I start with, I'm going weekly, but I love the daily. The daily is something because it lets me know what's happened. I can look at the 30 days out, 60 days out, 3 years out, 5 years out, but I get my trend set up and see what goes on throughout that one day. Um, and the Rose said in our charting class, oh, there you go, Mo. Thank you, dog. Um, let me get Merle's real quick, OCGN, because I was supposed to catch up with Merle. Glad you made it in here, Miss Fonseca. $5.78, guys. Look, I want to tell y'all, I'm I initially get very, very defensive when I see anything under $10 is a penny stock. But that doesn't mean you don't trade it. It just now I remember I think somebody else talked about OCGN. Now from afar, we're looking at this thing. But as we zoom in, and I sure hope I have it on the screen because we zoom in a little bit closer, guys. Now we start seeing the pattern set up. And for me, I had us with a descending triangle. That's a pattern that you guys can draw out, map out if you want. Um, it's a descending triangles are a bearish play, and when I say bearish, I'm not going to say that it's a guarantee that it is, but it it's not bullish. But we're not, it's not just, I don't know, man. Uh, let me let Merle come in if you would like to speak. Let me give you this. I see Alicia Calhoun. I see Sia in here. Nisha, Mo Parks. Where's Merle? There she is. Hello.
Hello.
All right. Okay, give me a little bit of context behind Ocugen. Is Ocugen a biotech?
Yes.
Okay, there we go. And are you waiting for an approval announcement?
Yes, and I just want to sell.
Oh, you want to get out?
Yeah, I want to get out. Gosh, I
When did
don't
you
ask
get
me my
in?
average. I have to log in. I'll
No, don't
try.
worry about it. Don't worry about it. Because it now, guys. Okay, look, this is a perfect example. This is what we're gonna see. You'll see this. Like, let's say you get started, right at the screen, boom, gap up. Okay, it went up from 45 cents to 245. People got out at 245. They're not holding to wait to get to 18. If you think you can do that, it's one of the hardest things because you say 45 cents and they say, I put $100 in there and you get out at 245, 250, $3. People get out of that because that's an amazing push from that 45 cents. I don't even want to count up how many several 100% gain so that people get out. So it's going to sell off. It'll come back and fill this gap. It should. Boy, they came in. Well, that gap is waiting to be filled. Went up. The next move kind of leveled off, and something must have happened. Maybe earnings, but volume came in and got kind of high. I'll get back to it, Merle. 410 million shares bought that day, coming up from like 16 million, 9 million. Okay, 410 million. So that 410 million came in. Next day was 69 million, 68 million, 364 million, 719 million. Okay. When you guys see a chart that does this right here, I can't even draw the angle, it's so acute to make my trend line. So if I were to draw this trend line from the bottom of this, it's just, and I'm going to go with this bottom of this candle, and I'm going to run it out right here. Extend to the right. So it parabolically broke the trend. Like, well, it broke away from the trend. It didn't break through. So it broke out. So we're at a 90-degree move. Unless we're going to the moon, and everybody always talks about mooning, but when you do moon, guys, here's what you do. When you start seeing this on a chart, you see a volume because the candle will open down here. And it went down just a tick and then it shot all the way up. But as the day came to an end, the last 30 minutes, hour of the day or whatever, selling pressure came in. Sellers came and got this and it pushed it back down. You got to take profit. You look at the RSI was acutely up, big volume. Now in our minds, in your mind, you're like, no, man, I'm up like this. People coming in. People, and it's going to be to the point like that was February 8th of 2021. I don't think I could get info. February 8th, what happened? Ocugen stocks triple on massive volume after institutional investors buy stock at 27% premium. So there's news of institutional money coming in. So in your mind, you're thinking like, oh, that means it's going to still keep going up. That's going to be the time to sell. There's a couple of things that had occurred, had a big time gap up, push up volume, but it wasn't crazy. selling pressure, but it was enough to take it off of near from closing at its highs with strength. So that's the initial sign of like it's not a pump and dump, but it's gone from 43 cents, 33 cents, to 18 bucks. That's a big time move. You put money in there, take your profit. So if you're looking to see when you're going to sell Merly, I mean, so, I hope if I'm calling you properly. Um, what's going to happen is, let's say you get out Monday, you're going to sell Monday. That thing is going to run back up. You're going to be like, I should have kept it. If you if you hold it Monday, this thing's going to push down. It's just the law of averages. It's just how it happens. I mean, I'm not saying it guarantees, but we have to be in position to where if you thinking about selling, exit out, take your loss, because our idea is that what we do is, and I do it too. Well, shoot, I'm already in it. Might as well, like, or when you're late for coming home, you miss curfew, you're gonna miss about 10 minutes. Damn, I might as well miss about 3 hours and keep kicking it because it's gonna be the same spanking or same, So if you're trying to get out and you're thinking about getting out, go ahead and get out. Um, I don't know what the catalyst will be, and I can't just use technical analysis for a biotech. It's going to have to be biotech plus, I mean, not biotech, tech analysis plus it's going to have to be roadmap, any new drugs coming through the pipeline. Uh, have we had approvals? Are we going to go, are we going to have negative biotech news for the vaccine, which will affect the majority of biotechs? It'll affect the sector. So, and another thing, I mean, we have a descending triangle and it's broke below that little line. It's filled a gap. But just exit Monday. I mean, that would be my suggestion if you want to get out. What's holding you, keeping you from getting out if you're still there?
No, I was wondering if it was gonna go up, and,
It's
then,
gonna go up when you get out, and
okay.
you're gonna second guess it because that's just how we have to experience that. I can't it expect it to go up right after you hit the button. And if you still want to sell, then sell. But if it's a establish your time horizon and say, look, I'm gonna stay in this thing for XYZ, and I have to live with the ups and downs of a biotech company, which has high volatility inherently because they live and die by the FDA, negative news, positive news, failures. Uh, so that just comes with the territory. Um, did you have a time horizon where you were trying to keep it for a certain period of time?
Not really. It was just short term.
Okay, okay. Be careful on the short-term biotech plays. Everybody likes to do them because, shoot, they'll say, we always see it. If you had gotten into such and such, we would be and put $100 in, you would have 10,000 by now. And that draws everyone in. It draws me in sometimes. And it just, earmark a certain amount if you go into a biotech and earmark it to money that you can lose, like all of it. So you're already prepared for going to zero value. So when you do hit, you're like, oh, okay, I wasn't counting on that. That don't put now biotech long term. I love it. Mo and I had a big time stock scouting report on that. I don't know how many pages. It was, I don't know, 26 pages of biotech companies that, but they they have to fit a certain criteria. Um, and so be careful, especially the ones that started out like 45 cents, 35 cents. There's going to have to be something magical to do it. And a lot of times it does this move right here, guys. Anytime y'all see the stock go straight up, it then goes straight back down all the time, but it's not going to keep going straight up off that. It's going to pull back. Then sometimes it'll consolidate and then another move will go up or it'll just continue down. So make that choice to whether you're ready to just hop out and move on. And next thing you know, we're up to 65. And you're like, JD told me to sell and I'm going to come find them, but you have to make that choice on your own. If you feel like selling and getting out, you do it. If not, you just live with it and let it ride, let it ride for a year or something. If you're going to do it, because it's tough to do short term on biotech because I mean, 6 months sometimes you might need two earning cycles and some approval ratings for certain drugs are coming through the pipeline. A lot of things that cycle of a biotech is not really conducive to a short term play unless you're going to play like an earnings or a big announcement that is coming up, and it's like flipping a coin. So sorry I didn't have a better explanation, or hope I helped a little bit on that one. Um, let's see. At Oxygen, we had just making sure I'm not missing anything. Adobe. I'm gonna get NVIS real quick if I don't think I did that. All right. What's the name of this company? Microvision. Keep seeing it. I keep seeing it. Let's see what NVIS. What's up, Coinbase? Microvision 8K shows named Sumit Sharma, CEO. When I start seeing phrases like, could Microvision stock break out soon? Yeah, it could break out, but it might not. It might. It's tough to predict when a breakout will occur. A lot of times now, there are patterns that set up where a stock will coil, and when it coils up, and it's basically price consolidation or price contraction. It's like you sticking a tennis ball underwater, or you're jamming a bunch of things into a bunch of springs into a jar, and it's either it's going to pop or break, or price consolidation. A lot of times when it gets within a pattern, and that's a wedge pattern right there. When you see a wedge pattern, that's something that I like. Mo knows I like the wedge patterns. Mo likes cup and handles. That's one of his expert level ones. I do a lot of wedges and flag patterns because I spot them on every chart. Um, but the thing is, it is support and resistance at certain angles. And when you get it, you're either going to see a breakout, which you saw here, or there's times where you'll see a breakdown within a wedge pattern. Now, what we have right here, what did we talk about earlier? Talked about that doji. That's almost this particular doji right here is almost a perfect example where doji candle is basically uh, the open, the close, open, the high, low, the close, all of it almost lands at the same spot. But you make a high, you can make a low, but the open and the close end near or exactly where it is, where it starts. So you close almost where you open, but you could open at 105, go up to 160, go down to 100, and then you close back at 105. It'll make almost a flat line. But the perfect doji will be white. You search for doji patterns on candles. I mean on charts. Now they don't mean exactly that it's going to turn and change direction. It just means there's indecision. There's a pause sometimes. Now what you have here, this is what we like. This is a pattern we like. This is a hammer candle, not a perfect hammer. It's not, but it's in that realm. It falls into a pattern, a reversal pattern that we like. It's called a 3-pin reversal. And I'm gonna draw it down here, guys. And there's certain patterns that when you see them on a chart, and you know it's ready to move. Now, we would have seen this. We wouldn't see this big candle right there, and the pattern I would have drawn. It's basically it's a baby trading range. It's a mini trading range right in here. Very tight. It's kind of a bear channel, very tight bear channel, but it's within. If we back out again, microvision, man, is a little funky with the price action, but it respected a previous level. I mean, just you have to, guys, you have to keep going back to the left. This is something I wouldn't trade, man. If you like microvision, this is something where you have to have conviction on that stock, the possibilities of what this stock does. Let me go get out of here and go right to guys. I use Investors Business Daily. Mo and I talk about that. We use that. That's one of the ways Mo and I connected because we used to get the newspaper, but ain't nobody getting newspapers anymore. All right, let me do microvision on the screen, guys. I'm taking y'all kind of long right now. This thing, microvision, developing the PI COP display technology for use in high resolution miniature laser display imaging engines. I'm wondering if microvision, if their people are taking their salary in Bitcoin. I'm trying to remember somebody was taking salaries in Bitcoin. Got a little accumulation. Oppenheimer's investment bank, market cap 2 billion. So it's money in microvision. All right, you got your bull case, man. You know, don't trade it. It's a tough trade, but we're in a channel. I mean, we're like a little trading range. It gets above that, it could above like 1245, 1250. We could have a push, but there's so much overhead supply. A lot of shares were up here, a lot of action. So it's going to be a tough push up. Let me see what's on the. Yeah, D Thomas, I'm not sure, man. Okay, open it up, open your mic, D. You said rumors of them being bought. I think you should be able to. But one of the things, okay, on rumors, man, the time frame and who releases the rumor. You know, we got to go with that route. But I mean, it helps when you know, it does come to fruition a lot of times when they say, but you need confirmation, like Caesar's Palace. This kind of sore subject with Keisha, me, Steph, but Caesar's Palace was acquired by Eldorado Resorts. That was a guarantee. That was a confirmed merger, and the price action began to show it back here. You know, it started condensing, and we were in that thing so early, and I think so many people got leaps. They changed the doggone ticker symbol on our options and paid us out. They exercised our options and cashed us out instead of letting us getting our money from going from like, I think we were in like $24 options. That thing ran up to like over 100 and something. You know, so you can say it's rumors, but don't base your short-term entry or your short-term investment on a rumor. And because we can't quantify anything, we can't quantify a trend because honestly, if I take the kid gloves off I've heard a lot about microvision, but man, you wouldn't catch me buying short term on this. It's a speculative play. And I've been like, okay, if I believe in what this company's doing, I'll put money into it. But I need to know, okay, what's their proprietary, what do they have that's leading everybody? Like, okay, right now, I'm a bull on Coinbase. People were like, yeah, Coinbase this. Well, Coinbase has too many fees. They won't let nobody answers the phone and I call. You can't keep your wallets. Uh, you can't trade guap coin, but I, the the bullish catalyst for Coinbase is data. It has the most user accounts. It has the most amazingly large membership. And what the idea is that all that data of usage, of buying, of what we like to purchase, who we connect with, what coins we're researching, uh, how much pre-COVID, what were the average deposits amounts, any information or loans from the standpoint of like, you can lend out your Bitcoin on a lot of different platforms. You can take loans. The membership base is so large in Coinbase. That's one of the data is the new oil. That's one of the bull cases right there. But the next one is Coinbase is one of the only fully regulated, fully legalized. I say legalized crypto exchanges that's on the stock exchange. It that's the bull case. They went through all the hurdles because it's not a decentralized platform. They give all the information. So what the next domino is that all these institutional investors, one of the biggest things for not getting into crypto is that you see it on TV all the time, and they've been saying it. It's nefarious activities. It's for the dark pools. It's for the black market. Was the dark web? They use Bitcoin for drug trafficking and child pornography. Okay, yeah, they use cash for that. But the point is, Coinbase went through all the regulatory hurdles to show transparency, and it gives institutional investors an opportunity to put their money in the market into the crypto to kind of cross that bridge into crypto without without having the negative unknowns behind it. Now, if you're a crypto purist, Coinbase is not the spot. I mean, be a consumer, but for an investment, just watch the money that goes into Coinbase. Kathy Wood spent what 260 million on that. Uh, it's some institutional money that's going to go in there because that's the bull case. The bear case issues are basically it, it, the idea is the fees are high. Okay, they can lower fees and it's still regulated, FDI insured on your US, on your funds. Look, Kathy Wood fund purchased what they 187,000 shares on Friday, but she was buying from jump. Uh, it, I see it, man. Different, like what is it? Is it Morgan Stanley? Um, they've initiated coverage on this thing. So not to say to get in, this isn't a buy, sell, or hold. I'm just saying one of the strong bull cases for me. Even though now the chart is it retested. When you go to Coinbase and you look at that, look at the chart, it's so new. You see right here, you're just going to see that big candle just sell. You can't really get a pattern, but this is what we have. You have a little buying coming in. The reversal pattern, we're going to see if they keep moving this up. There's going to be volatility in it because everybody's going to have their own opinion. But I like data. In Coinbase, now another one, Robinhood. When Robinhood comes to market, people are going to get pissed off. They're going to say Robinhood shuts down. Oh, my bad. Can't see the chart. Got you. Ah, and I saw LiDAR. You got it in there. There you go. Boom. That's that's your that's your secret sauce right there. Microvision's gonna hit for you because you didn't just get that in a chat room or a group. You've been researching this thing, man. So in the next few years, higher volumes will be possible in the markets for smart glasses, perfect projection with touchless. I've been hearing about that too. The LiDAR, that's going to be with autonomous driving. Perfect. I know what areas you like, man. You like innovation, you like technology, you like autonomous driving. I know you like EV. I know you're going to like the battery technology. That's great. Microvision is only active in markets that allow quantities. Bam! This is your stock, man. I can't. I can't. Well, I can. I would prefer to do my research and have the conviction that you have right there. Don't let anyone talk you out of microvision. As a buy and hold for something that you like because you've done your research. That you're becoming the expert in this particular issue right here. That's the D Thomas issue. So that great call on that. The chart. This is an early nasty chart. It is what it is, man. But we're looking, if we back out and we start looking, you go to that monthly to keep you sane, and you're like, okay, we, at one point in time we had $212 on that thing, and I think they've rebranded themselves to go into what they do, and I've heard a lot of talk about it. We had a breakout on the monthly chart, big time bull candle. What happens when you see the long wick on top? That's bearish pressure. That's selling pressure that's coming in. Boom. But then you got the next candle that next month. All the bulls bought it back up. This month, we're still in April. That's the beginning of the month. It's been heavily sold, but it was overbought, man. Sometimes you have to recycle. You remember I was talking about that, the acute angle? You really just can't keep that up. It has to reset and kind of get the equilibrium back. So big stuff, man. I like that, Derek. It's not a stock that I'm going to say, hey, you go buy the options on this. But if you do like that stock, you look at your buying the stock. But here's another possibility. Let's see if they have options. Since we're not doing our options class, well, the registration's closed for options class, so we have starting tomorrow. Uh, Microvision has options. If you like Microvision, let's see what let's see what 2 years out looks like. Let's see what people are talking about. These are called leaps. What long-term equity appreciation shares or options. Usually you go that year out, but it's 1,157 contracts open right now. It's widespread, but you spend $760 and you buy the $10 call for January 2023. It doesn't expire until my birthday of January 2023. That's not a crazy assessment, man. Even if you go to fit $12, this stock could go down to $1 and you could lose your investment. Or by the time January 2023 rolls around, it could be back up to $212. I don't know where it's going to be, but this is where you make a play not only on the stock sometimes, but you could also make an income play, because a lot of times the stock you're going to hold that and not sell, and it's basically an unrealized gain or an unrealized loss until you sell. But with options, we get the expiration. So right here, let's see who's it. A lot of folks getting in these, man. I mean, it's not like now Ford. We'll do a relative comparison. It was like 6,000 in Microvision. It's 264,000 folks sitting in these Ford leaps, and they're still at $300. So that we're waiting on Ford to do something. I think there's some people in the room in these Ford leaps with me, and Mo and Keisha and Mia and Mama and P. A lot of money in there. Okay, think about that on Microvision, D. Thomas. That might be something to research. But great. thank you for putting your information in there, man, about what your driver is. Guys, Mo talks about knowing that, like, I mean, why you why'd you get it? And a lot of times when somebody will tell me that they got into, my friends will send me a message about it. So, oh, I saw somebody in a group I'm in, but that person will give them a recommendation. They won't say, hey, we're looking at getting this thing at this price. We're looking for it to move to this particular price. If it doesn't, and if it sells off below X dollar, that's the exit sign. You have to have your stop possibility in play. You have to have your target price where you would like it to go. A lot of times we get those rumors, or you see people, hey man, thank me later, hop into such and such. How you get that info? Then why are you giving it away? You just want to. I mean, what's the reason? Now, I do share information like in my chat room, like Mo and I. If I had the trading room up, I'm gonna show you what I'm trading. I'm not just gonna. Well, if I do put it on in Facebook, I'll put it out why. A lot of times, and a lot of times I have skin in the game. So everybody in here can be their own expert on that side of things. Now, what the hard part is when you start doing it on your own and you start ignoring a chart. Um, you don't have to be a chart technician, but it helps if you can know just the basic charting side of things. I bet Mo's laughing right now if he's still in the room. Um, Ingenious actually has some people in it, it has some money in there. But like again, guys, this is one of the common threads that you will see on charts. You see low, like 18 cents, 19 cents, go up to a couple of bucks or a dollar, stair step up, then you'll see that blast off right here. Big push up, push up, push up, and straight to the moon, right? That's the exit. Everybody tries to catch this all the way to the top. We can't perfect that. That perfection, what is it? Perfection is the enemy of consistency. It just causes trouble. And then you're gonna get that sell off a lot of times. So if you catch a move, guys, a parabolic, this is called parabolic when it goes straight up. And then the very next day it opened here, pushed up all the way up to 1180. And people were still probably trying, they're calling, I gotta get in, put the money. Should I put a little bit more money in there in that baby? People pulled the rug out and took their profits. So when it goes parabolic, remember, profit taking has to come into the market. Nobody's just gonna keep pumping that money in. It's a pump and dump. Now, there could be positive signs in the company, this and that. But this is the move you watch on those low price stocks when you get that run up. That's euphoria. That's irrational exuberance because it ends. You run out of energy. And if you remember what I said in the beginning, RSI, you watch how overbought that is. That thing was almost at 100. Anything over 70 is overbought. So be careful of going in once it gets at 70, 80, 90. Be very careful of that, guys. It's going to be my last one. I'm about to be out, guys. I put my email in here. JD at yourmobiletrader.com. I think someone put information in for the charting class in here. The link, I'm gonna find it. But if not, just go ahead and email me. I get it to you. But look, I try to open up the trading room in the mornings. I might be on here tomorrow too. I'm on the road right now, but I'll try to get in here, man, because I know little things like this can help. That's the link to the chart. Thank you, Keisha. Pretty Keisha. But I just think if we know it, you can go to YouTube, you can watch the videos. I mean, I have a YouTube page, man, and has a lot of just a lot of videos to where you can just you get your information and listen to. I mean, Well, I'm gonna get you a video right now. Something that you can study, guys. That's the entire thing. I want you to be able to study it without having to just you don't have to just pay for every damn thing. It's it's hard enough to sit down and everybody has people get dinner made. A lot of moms in here. This is the YouTube link, guys. Subscribe to it. Uh, that's the most recent stock trade. What was that? That's the wrong one. Wrong one. Here we go. Sorry. Well, just sign up for subscribe to it. That's I'm trying to get the last one. Mo and I did the. Let me get it because our market wrap up every Friday, but baseball season's here, guys. I can't just hit that all the time. There it is, the bottom one. Just go to that. What's up, Deirdre? I'm about to get off, but if you have a stock you want me to take a peek at, I'll take a look before we roll. Let's see who's in here. We got Gino, Alicia Calhoun. What's up, Alicia? Merle, we got my girl Briscoe. We got Miss Tulsa, Stephanie Green, and Wes still in here. If y'all have any other stocks y'all want me to take a peek at, let me know. But if you have the money saved up, think about going to that charting class. I think, and you don't have to be an expert and you don't have to be a beginner. It's going to be based off of where you come in. We're going to try to catch you up to speed, or if you already have like someone like Lakeisha Briscoe. Briscoe has her own program. She understands charts. She understands research. You know, that's she survives. She knows how to fish. She can teach. Um, Young lady Ronisha is in my mastermind group, and she's in our current 6-week stock spring trading course. Ronisha is getting it. She's next move for her is going to be charts, but she's very close to that because she has a good understanding of support, resistance, setups, and she studies extra. She finds cups and handles, all that kind of stuff. And I don't really know if you're going to really need the class, Ro. You have the basis and the basics down. The next move will be trader psychology for you. Um, she killing it, killing the futures. Know about Ford, but is it time to jump into GM right now? Okay, Gino, that's the perfect question. Is it time to jump into Gino right now for what? For a trade, for a long-term buy and hold, for, you know what I mean? So as we evolve, as we gain an understanding, it's going to be our questions are going to evolve, because one of the questions we don't ask, hey, what's up? What's up? Good. What should I got $5,000? What should I buy today? Bam, you're going to lose that 5 racks within a year. Don't ask a group of people on Facebook. Start researching. Ask people, hey, what's the best educational program I can do to exponentially get a return on this money, on these 5 racks. I'm trying to work on my colloquialisms. No, what was my thing? No cap. I had that down for about a week. I don't know how to say no cap anymore. But Gino, it's churning, dog. If you're going long term for Ford, it's always time to buy. If y'all are looking 3 to 5 years out, and you start looking for the catalyst for it's going into EV, I mean, not for GM. There are a lot of other catalysts. You have to research and you have to come up. The first thing you assess and address is a time horizon. Now, I don't see any Any gaps on the weekly? Let me see the daily. You know, can't get quiet, man. Trying to assess something, you're like, I like Ford, man, but I keep saying Ford. This baby is in it's in a trading range a little bit, but if you're looking some years out, Gino, shoot, I mean, expect your pullbacks here and there. But yeah, man, I mean, this thing for me, there's a bull case and a bear case. I'm gonna tighten up this a little bit. Like Keisha said, wait for the pullback, but it could sell off, or it could find on a trade from a trader's perspective. We could be finding hanging back in this little area. We might come down to 57.11, and I'm assessing this right now. If we get above, it needs to break above. I'm so impatient, man. All right, let me. Because what you don't want to do, if you find something in a trading range, you don't want to buy at the top of a range, and you don't want to sell at the bottom. This is my outlier candle. That's my outlier wick. Found resistance, found support multiple times right there. Outlier, support, support. Bought. That's your entry right there on that. This is just a trade thought. Push up. Resistance, broke above it just a little bit, tip in, sold off right below it, and it's in limbo. If the bear case comes into play for the pullback below 58.28, which is like right in this little area right here. And it's a little space to run on a trade, but this thing we need to see it break out, because my impatient self was like, I could try and scalp this, but that's a little bit more advanced, and it takes more discipline. So for a long-term buy and hold, you have to establish your time frame, and then you say, okay, I'm dollar cost averaging into GM. I'm looking at this weekly. We got some space up to like 66, 64 before we get another double top. Not, I mean, but there's another area up here before 62, but it's gonna have to pay the piper. We get up in these areas. It's already, that's the area. What's that? 6201. Hold on, guys. I'm sorry for taking so long. But and I love GM. I'm big on the GM. What they're looking to do with EV. All right, there it is. I just drew that channel over here without looking back to what it was. And my channel is at 62.27. Previous high was like 62.07. In that time frame, look, we're going all the way back to, good Lord, excuse me, the date 2002. So we're testing 20, almost 20-year previous levels. So things are going to start acting up right in here. It might be an area where we just chill, and you might get, you saw that last time we got up here, Gino, that baby sold off. That's, what is that? That's about 50%. But not saying it's going to do that again, but we might have an exhaustive run on the week. And if we get another, you might get one more push, man, and then a sell off and a reassessment. So, like Keisha said, okay, wait for the pullback, but the pullback may not come as the probabilities are there. So, what you're gonna do, man, if you're gonna dollar cost average into GM, you set it aside and say, look, I'm buying 2 shares every other pay period. That's how you dollar cost average. So you buy more share, or you say, I'll put earmark $215 for this. So if the price goes down, you buy more shares. If the price goes up, you buy less shares. And it's just a consistent rhythm, irrespective of current price volatility. But expect volatility, expect, and great call on that, Keisha, with RSI. When you start getting up to the top, like for me with Tesla, if my RSI on Tesla on the daily is anywhere sniffing 70, 60, something, nah, bro, it's too late for me to get in. That's for a trade. But a lot of times Tesla respects, it can go up for a while above that and stay above it. But when it gets up there, this thing, it likes to go down and reset. And that's just what it is, man. Uh, and Keisha got you covered right there, man. I was expecting to buy in if I see a pullback to 50. Dog, if you're going to keep it for 5 years, if it pulls back to 55, it's going to test this little area too. It might go 54.02, 53, so wait it out. Let's read it, because I mean, that weekly, the daily, we had some negatives, but you can't predict that short-term price up action. There's no setup. It's in a little bit of a trading range. But if you're going long-term, man, you read up on dollar cost averaging, and sometimes you're going to have to set it and forget it. So I hope helped a little bit. And but GM is a beast, man. It's a lot of money coming into GM, guys, and I just think GM's a bullish one. It's within that. It falls into the EV play, the play on EV, and Tesla, Ford, Volkswagen, Apple, shoot, and all the chip sectors, guys, with the EV. That's because that's the issue. There's a holdup. It's stopping the supply line on a lot of things. All right. Okay, look at that. Do you remember we looked at microvision on like 1% institutional? Everybody and their mama is in GM institutions. 81% of the shares outstanding are held by institution. Institutional money is in there. 85% of the float. It's 1,469 institutions holding shares. So the big names are in there: BlackRock, Vanguard, Capital Research, Berkshire. Warren Buffett is in this thing. You can't go wrong. You can't go wrong. But look, just the point: State Street, T. Rowe Price. So it's big names in GM. Yeah, great call, brother. That's where you look. You want to see who's holding it. And it's not just 100% guarantee that it's going to make money, but those big multi-billion-dollar conglomerates are not in the business of failing. They do at times, but the probability of them selecting a company that's going to be a winner and their time, you have to know their time frame, their time horizon. They're not looking for 2 weeks out. You know, Kathy Wood's going 3 to 5 years on her plays, and that's actually short term when it comes to the big money managers. A lot of times they're going 5, 10, 15, 20 years looking for generational wealth building for their clients, for posterity. So that's one of the things, guys. Look, I said I'm out before. I'm out this time. I'm on the road. I got to make me a little bit of dinner. Here's my email. I think everybody has it. Be on Facebook. Stay on Facebook. No, anyway, come hit me up on there, jd@yourmobiletrader.com. Ask me questions. Hopefully I get back, man. I just it's baseball season. I gotta hit it. So y'all, back to practice. All right, Keisha, Roe, everybody, thank y'all for coming in. I enjoyed it. Gino, Lakeisha, Roe, Stephanie Green, Wesley Smith, and if Alicia Calhoun, if you guys hadn't joined, I'm opening up my Telegram, my mastermind group Telegram. Couple of spots, just if you want to come in. I need positive. What's up, Braids? Yeah, I like that gaming chair.
Yeah. You know, I spent a lot of time in this chair looking at these charts.
It's been a minute.
It's been a minute. I know.
Yeah, man. Well, thanks for coming in. I just put it up. I was like, I told my wife, I was like, I'm tired, I'm sleepy. And I started thinking like, no, I'm gonna go ahead and get on. I'm gonna get on there and do it. So I hadn't done this in a while. So thank y'all, Steph.
Always a pleasure.
Y'all hang out. And thank you again, Keisha and Ro and everybody. And Deirdre, I hadn't seen Deirdre in a minute. So if y'all want to jump into that Telegram, the mastermind group, just email me and I'll put well, shoot, I'll give you the link right now. It's just for y'all, man. I kick I'm not gonna have nothing negative, but brother will get, lady got in there and said, well, she tried to take over the group. Got mad at me, but let me find it, guys. I'm gonna find it for you. Hold on. There's the invite link, copy link, and put bam, here we go. All right, if you want to join it, I'll keep it open tonight. And then it's in the chat. And after tonight, I'll close it back down. But don't come in there and say, well, didn't you say you're going to keep it at 50? If I invite somebody else, it ain't going to be 51. That's close to 50. I was like, shit, do I kick her out or do I just kind of let her be herself and let her?
We all trying to get to the bag, like, help somebody reach back.
I just want positive. So come on in, guys. I like this group. So y'all, thank y'all. I'm out. I'm going to shut it down. All right.
All right. Have a good one.
Okay. You too.